Hello everyone, I am J. Deepak Kumar. I am pursuing my BTech in Vishnu Institute of Technology, Bhimavaram in CSC branch. Now I am here to explain some of the commonly asked Node.js interview questions. Coming to the first question, what is Node.js and how does this differ from other server-side technologies like Apache or PHP? Node.js is a runtime environment that allows you to run a JavaScript code on the server side. It uses the V8 engine, which is used in the Google Chrome to execute JavaScript code. Node.js is built to build as a scalable network applications, focusing on asynchronous event-driven programming. Coming to the Apache and PHP. Apache is a web server software that processes HTTP requests and serves web pages of the users. It typically runs with a multi-threaded architecture where each user or a request is handled by a separate thread, whereas PHP is a server-side scripting language for web development, but it is also known as general purpose programming language. PHP code is executed on the server and the result is returned to the client as a plain HTML page. Whereas coming to the differences between Node.js and PHP or Apache, the differences are coming to the concurrency. Node.js is single-threaded, whereas Apache is a multi-threaded program. Coming to the language, Node.js uses JavaScript language, whereas PHP is using script language. Performance, coming to the performance, also Node.js is well suited for IO heavy applications, whereas Apache or PHP is better suited for CPU intensive tasks or traditional web service. Coming to the second question, what is a callback function in Node.js and why they are commonly used in asynchronous programming only? Coming to the callback function, a callback function is a function passed into another function as an argument, which is then executed after the completion of the first function or the other functions. Callback functions allows user to or the function to be executed out of order, enabling asynchronous behavior. Coming to the asynchronous programming, what is asynchronous programming? In Node.js, many operations like reading a file or making a network request or querying a database are IO bound and can be taken time to complete. Instead of waiting for these operations to finish, Node.js uses callbacks to handle these tasks. This asynchronous programming allows user to or program to continue executing other code while waiting for the other operations to complete. In this way, a callback function is asynchronous programming is used for a callback function in Node.js. Coming to the third question, what is the purpose of package.json file in a Node.js project? Can you explain the key properties found in this file? Yeah, sure. The package.json file serves as a manifest for Node.js project. It provides metadata about the project, including the project name, version, dependencies, main file, script, and so on. Let's look into the key properties of them. First of all, the name. It clearly says about the name of the project, the version of the project, and following in the which depends on the code, and description, a brief description of the project, what it was doing, and the main entry point where the main file should be run, and the scripts like npm run start and nodemon and so on. Dependencies, what are the packages to be installed, that is npm install and so on. Repositories, where does the source code to be saved, and the keywords, what are the array of keywords are used in the project, and the author of the project, and license under which the project is released. Coming to the next question, that is the fourth question, explain the difference between require and import statements in Node.js. When and why would you use over the one or the other? Require and import. Require is used in common JS modules, which is default module system in Node.js. It is synchronous and can be called anywhere in the code. Whereas import is used in ES modules, that is ESM, which is a newer standard for JavaScript modules. It is asynchronous and must be used at the top of the file only. Coming to the differences, which is syntax. The syntax of require is require and in the braces module, whereas import is import module from module name. Coming to the timing, require can be conditionally called anywhere, whereas import must be called at the top level scope only. Coming to the uses, we can use require for older projects or when working with common JS modules, whereas import is used only when working with new projects or when you use ES modules and for better support in modern JavaScript. Coming to the next question, what is middleware in the context of Express.js? Can you give an example of how would you use middleware in an Express application? Yes, sure. Middleware in Express.js. First of all, let us see what is middleware in the context of Express.js. Middleware refers to the functions that execute during the request response cycle. These functions have access to request object like req and response object like res and the so on next middleware function in the application's request response cycle. Middleware functions can perform a many wide variety of tasks such as executing code, modifying the request and response objects, ending the request response cycle, or calling the next middleware function in the stack, or so on. Middleware function is the fundamental concept of the Express.js concept and is used in the structure of our application. Each middleware function performs a specific task, which means in creating modular and maintainable code, middleware can be used in tasks like logging, authentication, error handling, serving static files, and more. Let us see some of the types of middleware like application level middleware. This middleware is an instance bound to the only Express. Like we create an object like app and we say app.use, app.method, and then we use methods like get, post, and so on. Next, coming to the router level middleware. This is also used similar application level in Express like express.router and so on. Error handling middleware. The error handling middleware takes four arguments like error, request, response, and next. And coming to the built-in middleware, this is mainly used in the Express like express.static, express.json, express.url encoded, and so on. Coming to the last one, third-party middleware. Middleware functions created by the community like body parser, cookie parser, Morgan, and so on. In this way, middleware in Express.js is mainly used for giving the structure for our application. Coming to the next question, what is RESTful API and how can you create one using Node.js and Express.js? Explain the main HTTP methods used in RESTful APIs. First of all, coming to what is RESTful API? A RESTful API, the full form is Representational State Transfer API, is an architectural style for designing networked applications. It relies on stateless client-server communication protocol and typically HTTP. RESTful APIs allow different systems to communicate over the web, that is in a simple way and a scalable way. They use standard HTTP methods and follow specific principles to ensure clarity and performance. Coming to the main HTTP methods used in RESTful APIs. First of all, the first method is get. The purpose of get method is retrieve data from the server. The usage is used to fetch the resource or a list of resources. It is safe and idempotent, meaning it does not change the state of the resource and can be called multiple times without side effects. Examples. Coming to the post method. Post method sends the data to the server and to create a new resource. It is used to create a new resource on the server. And put next method is put. It is used for updating an existing resource on the server. And delete. It removes the resource from the server. And patch. It partially updates the resource on the server. Coming these five methods, that is get, post, put, delete, and patch, are mainly used HTTP methods in Node.js. Coming to the next question, creating a RESTful API with Node.js and Express.js. There are four steps in creating. The first step is setting up the Node.js and Express.js. Initialize a Node.js project and install Express.js. Then configure the server to listen for requests. Coming to the next step, define the routes and endpoints. Identify the resources your API will manage like users, products, etc. Define the routes that correspond to the resources using appropriate HTTP methods. Then implement the CRUD operations like creating, reading, updating, deleting. Then use middleware to handle tasks like parsing JSON bodies, handling authentication, and logging in and logging out. Testing the API. Test the API endpoints using tools like CURL to ensure they work properly. Handle edge cases and errors properly to ensure robustness. In this way, the RESTful API is used. Coming to the next question. What is the purpose of Node Package Manager (NPM) and how do you use it to manage dependencies in a Node.js project? Coming to the answer. NPM is a package manager for Node.js. It allows developers to install, share, and manage packages like libraries or modules needed for their projects. how do we manage dependencies? First of all, coming to the how do we add a dependency? Npm space install space package name. This installs the package and adds it to the dependency section of package.json. Coming to the next step, to add a development dependency, npm space install space package name and save. This adds the package to the dev dependency section. To remove a dependency, npm space uninstall space name package name. This removes the package from the dependencies or package.json. To install all dependencies listed in package.json, just enter npm space install. This installs all the Express and Nodemon packages into the package.json. Coming to the last question, which is why it is important to hash passwords in a web application. This is the main concept. Hashing passwords is crucial for security. When passwords are hashed, they are converted into a fixed length of string and they are saved in cannot be reversed easily. This means when even if an attacker hacks the database or access the database, they won't be able to read our passwords or anything. Reasons for hashing means we can protect against the data breaches. Like even if the database is hacked or if there is any issue, the passwords do not be get an error. So defense against brute force attack, like proper hashing algorithms like bicrypt, script or argon and so on. By using these hashing techniques, we can hash passwords in a web application, which is very much useful while we are designing a web application. The above discussed 8 questions are the commonly asked Node.js interview questions. The answers are very useful. Thank you.